Hi everyone! So, this book review video has been a bit of a mess, but hopefully it's still enjoyable. To start off, we'll be looking at this book. Might have seen in the thumbnail, Illusions of Reality. We will flip through this one like normal. I had planned to do a second one, and I did that one, and then all of my footage for that book got corrupted and is gone. And so that book is no longer being reviewed in this video, but I'll save it for next time. Try again. Instead we're just going to go through that one, and we're going to do something a little different where I'm not going to flip through a second book in this video because of the previously stated reason, but I am going to kind of talk to you guys about this book and this book very briefly. If you're not interested, you can stop the video after the first flip through, but I will go back after that flip through and talk about these because they've just been incredibly helpful technique books to me, and this one is quite an investment, so I thought it might be helpful to have a bit of a review before you have to commit to spending the money on it. So anyways, we will go into that after the somewhat as planned video goes on. Okay, so this is Illusions of Reality. This is a book, I forgot why I got this one. I think it was when I discovered I was interested in naturalistic paintings, and someone said that this was a good reference to it, and that just for the paintings themselves, but it's actually a very all-encompassing book. It's really interesting for people interested in the history of painting, specifically the history of the naturalist movement and its impact on photography and theater and cinema, as this book, as is in the title. But personally, I haven't done much reading on this one. I can vouch for the print quality being pretty good. Some of the color in the paintings I think are a little off, but the print quality, despite the glare you can see in this video, the image quality is really good. And kind of being able to see other references and other things from the time, it's really interesting to do, to see those side by side. So, and the detail shots are also very good in this one. But yeah, apologies if I'm flipping through it a little bit quickly. It's definitely not maybe the best art book I have on my shelves. It's just a good reference for this one specific topic. That's what I would say. If you're not super into naturalist painting, I wouldn't recommend it, because it's a little bit on the more expensive side. You can find really reasonable used copies, but the price on this book honestly fluctuates a lot, and as you can see, there's a lot of blank space, there's a lot of words, a lot of not a lot of big full-page illustrations. The ones that are there are good, even the small images are good quality, but again, I would say this is a niche book. But yeah, I wanted to review it to give you an idea. The end of the book is ironically the best part because it's just full-page illustration after full page, but you will notice, some of you probably have already noticed, that these are just the full paintings that have been referenced throughout the book. So yeah, so it's a pretty decent book. Overall, like I said, not my favorite, not my most used, but definitely one I'm glad I have for reference should I want it. So anyways, yeah, just ends with the bibliography note section, so there you have it. Okay, so now on to the not normally scheduled programming, and apologies real quick, it is very dark. We have a storm today, just how it is weather, so apologies if it's a bit dark. I will be talking a bit about the image quality in this book, so you don't have to rely just on the camera. But first things first, this is, without glare, The Dictionary of Human Form by Ted Seth Jacobs. Really, really intense book. Very, very good, in my opinion. I have not seen a book that talks about form this way or really engages with it to this level of detail that this one does. This book breaks down like every body part, everything. It's almost like having every drawing in the margins of a GCA student's figure drawing. There's always some kind of little sketch. Like having all of those, every concept in one giant book about every part of the body, or feature, because it even breaks down like the features. So you will probably not find a more thorough book on form than this one. It's very accurately named the dictionary for that reason. But I'm going to try to find an image and hold it up to give an example, because the image quality is maybe my one gripe with this book. It's a little fuzzy. So everything is still clear what it's trying to describe, but the drawings are a little fuzzy. If I bring it closer, the camera won't focus, but maybe you can see what I mean. It's not bad, it's just slightly fuzzy. So I think it's still worth it. It's kind of, I think, meant to be used as reference. So I don't think it's a book, maybe it is, maybe somebody out there has read it cover to cover and done it that way. But for me personally, I use it if I'm struggling with a specific area, a specific feature, a specific body part, and I don't understand what's happening. I'll pull this out, go to the section of the book where it's talking about that, let's say the thigh, and I look at that section. That's how I found this book incredibly helpful. I do recommend it if you are interested in the kind of more sculptural 3D thinking, because it's very helpful. So that's kind of all I really have to say about this one. Happy to answer any questions. Specifically, if anybody has one, just feel free to shoot me a message and I will answer it. And this one I'll be even more brief about, is just the Artist's Complete Guide to Figure Drawing by Anthony Ryder. God, Anthony Ryder is a super nice person. I've met him briefly, very, very briefly, and got him to sign my book. But it's, his lovely, perfect penmanship. But that's a tangent. As far as this book goes, I think it's really helpful if you are at all interested in figure drawing. Definitely not as intense as this big dictionary, but that's kind of to serve a different purpose. This is more of a complete picture of figure drawing. And what I particularly like about this book is that he not only talks about them, but he's using his own work, so you can kind of actually see. Let me find the example I just passed up. Okay, it's sometimes easier to talk about things in more abstract quality, but to actually represent it stage by stage, with like this one, like a demo almost. Yeah, it's like a written demo. It's really good, and it's personally, I think, really helpful to see that, because sometimes it's nice to have an artist, a current living working artist, be so transparent about their working methods, because a lot of times you just see maybe beginning, vague middle, and end with brief descriptions. But to have a book where he's like, and in this drawing I was thinking about it this way, it's really helpful. So both great books, and I hope this has been a decent enough fill-in for the lost footage. But I will be doing another one of these to go out with my next newsletter in, I think, December is about when I'll release that. And with that newsletter, I'm going to go back to the traditional, hopefully, assuming I don't lose the footage again, method of just flipping through the books and talking about them. I will be talking about the book I tried to do for this video, which, to just give you a heads up, will be a book, a catalog from an exhibit that took place in France on Ilya Repin. Apologies if I've butchered the pronunciation of that name. That book, and then another one called Against the Modern, which I have in the write-up for this video. So those are the ones that I'm going to review and talk about in December. So there is another one coming. I will try again. But in the meantime, I hope that doing something a little bit different was okay for this one. So anyways, until next time, bye.